This video is brought to you by Game Maker. If you've ever wanted to get into game development, Game Maker does this really crazy thing where it's free. Just start making and only pay when you want to release your game to the world commercially.
It's fast, it's user-friendly, and there's easy-to-follow tutorials, plus a dedicated community to help answer even my questions. How make man jump? Game Maker is a 2D game engine that's helped bring some of yours and my favorite recent experiences to life, like UFO 50, Chicory, Anton Blast, and of course, Yahtzee's own Starstruck Vagabond.
Ooh, we talking about Game Maker? I love that program, it's so easy to use. As well as Starstruck Vagabond, I also used it to make all 12 projects in my 12 games in 12 months Dev Diary challenge. And I couldn't believe how much sex I got out of that. None. I got none at all. Which I couldn't believe.
So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the Game Maker link in the description and start cracking away today, because we want to play your game.
Yeah, looking through this list, I'm seeing one of you made Armpit Fart Tycoon, and I've got several questions for you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Windbreakers podcast. I'm Yahtzee Croshaw. I'm joined by Jay and Marty, who also have surnames.
I was going to make the wibbling noise, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Wibble away. I mean, we're all friends here. I was warming up with doing that just now.
It made me very
in case you're interested.
Yeah.
And this week on the Windbreakers podcast, we thought we'd get a bit games journalisty on everyone and complain about a game being too hard. In fact, that was my suggestion for the title for this podcast. Is Silksong just too hard? No, I believe we all have anecdotal evidence here.
Yeah. And this is going to be very spoilery. I just want to warn everyone. We're just I reckon we just go no holds barred. We talk about anything we want. Get fucked.
Right up front. Yes.
Sure.
Spoiler warning.
Okay. Whatever you guys want to do.
Spoiler warning. Right up front. Spoiler warning. We are going to spoil things that happen in Silksong. For a while, I thought Silksong was fairly reasonable in its difficulty. Sure. I mean, Act 1 is relatively straightforward. Dare I say, even quite easy. No boss fight took me more than a couple of goes. It was Act 2 where everything started going to shit for me. And part of that was the boss fights. Part of that was how all the environments were just, it was like the Castlevania clock tower, but more of it, and with much more hostile Medusa heads. Everything knocking you into fucking spinning saw blades that all do 2 damage, as if it's not annoying enough.
Well, that was a bug.
Into it. Are you sure?
100%. Well, they've patched it. I theorized in my video that came out today that it was a bug, and then as I was editing it, I looked at the patch notes and they had patched it, so all of the cogs no longer do damage.
What about
it was an invulnerability issue.
What about all the enemy attacks that do 2 damage?
They do 2 damage. That's intentional, but the hazards doing 2 damage. Apart from, we discussed a few days ago, Marty, about lava is intentional because it does 2 damage in one go, but the cogs would do 2 instances of 2 instances of 1 damage twice, which is a invulnerability reloading to last checkpoint issue.
Yeah.
They fixed that now. So the game's easy.
Because my theory with the lava was that was intentional because you can get a charm. Obviously, that
100%.
Lava take 1 damage, but there is no charm like that for the Kagi things, and clearly the Kagi things have been changed.
Well, my upcoming review is going to be slightly inaccurate then.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the point for me was in the second act, because as you know, you have to go around the areas and find 3 songs. And one of the songs you have to find is behind I won't call it a boss fight. I tended to call them gang squads, where you drop into a room and they act like it's a boss fight, but then they just drop a bunch of regular enemies on you. And I thought that this was going to be one of those, where because 3 guys dropped down, then 3 more guys, then 3 more guys, then 3 more guys, and then there was a big one at the end. And it took me a few goes, but I beat the big one, and it's like, finally, that's done. But then 3 more guys drop in. And then another 3 more guys, then another 3 more guys, another 3 more guys. It's like an extra iteration of the 4 phases that had led up to the big guy the first time around. And then I had to fight 2 of the big guys at once. And I was trying to get through this for like 2 afternoons. Like 8 hours just working on this one fucking encounter. Because in order to start figuring out how to fight 2 of the buggers, I had to get to the 2 buggers. And I'd only be able to get to the 2 buggers like every fucking 8 or 9 attempts.
Yeah, it was a big roadblock for me as well.
Then I'd have 3 seconds to learn stuff and before getting killed and having to try all over again to get back to that boss.
Yeah,
but what really sort of made me... Well, I'm nearly done. Stop talking. Let me finish. What really made me...
The person who's gotten the least furthest in Silksong, please continue.
Okay, I will. Because I did eventually beat it. Finally. After taking time out, which I could have been spending on other things. And then I finally got the 3rd song, went back to the middle of the clock tower, fed the 3 songs into the thing, activated a lift, went up into the lift, and then there was a boss fight, and they killed me in like 1 go. And I was like, oh, I can't be bothered. Especially when I tried...
Against Lace?
Yeah, her again.
Yeah, Lace too.
And then I made a second attempt and then realized that for every single attempt, I was going to have to go up a very slow elevator ride to get to the top of the field of flowers. And the moment I realized that, I was like, no, I can't be asked anymore. You took away my spirit with the 10-phase gang squad, and I have no spirit left to put up with this. And that's where I left it.
That's fair.
I'll share your own anecdotes.
I've personally had I don't have a problem with the boss fights, and I don't even have a problem with that gank squad, personally, even though it did take me a long fucking time and was incredibly annoying. And when I won, it didn't feel like I won because of skill. It felt like I won because the 2 chubby guys at the end were less aggro than the previous times. I think my big thing, which is a complaint that I've said before in Bloodborne, is that I feel discouraged from utilizing my full tool set because you lose shards on the tools you make. And so at really tough fights, I'd get to a point where I keep respawning with 0 shards and 0 tools. And so I would then need to leave a boss fight, go to an area where I can farm either shards or beads, and then come back with like 500 shards and be like, all right, this is going to be my next series of attempts on this boss. And hopefully I don't, fuck it. Because like the tools for me, were kind of necessary at a certain point in order to beat a lot of the later bosses, because that's like the big kind of one of the big new mechanics of the game are the tools. So yeah, a similar complaint that I had with Bloodborne, in that it feels like it discourages you from trying, which is like a double pain in the ass.
Felt like they were completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
like the shards.
I prefer in a hard game just being able to beat my head against something eternally so I can sort of zone out and listen to a podcast while I'm doing it. But having to like go away and do something else to grind up some health potions like in Bloodborne, that was not fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jay, you've gotten far and away the farthest. What do you?
I've finished Act 3. I really wanted to 100% the game. I tried to stay up till 2 a.m. trying to get it 100% in last night in prep for this, but I'm like 1% away. I need like 1 spool, and I don't know where it is. Fuck. But yeah, well, on the topics you've just been talking about, I think a lot of the issues I have with the game's difficulty are everything in combination. If they were in isolation, I think they'd be fine. But it's the fact most things do 2 damage, which is then hurt by the fact that it takes so long to build up to a heal, and then you're punished eternally if you get knocked out of it. The runbacks, and also farming, meaning that you have to mentally uncheck yourself from the fight and come back. The over-reliance on gank squads. Like I was going back through all of my footage making my episode, and it's amazing how many of the fights are just gank squads.
Because I wouldn't have minded if all the super hard challenges were boss fights, like with colorful designs and interesting music and some kind of crazy gimmick thing going on. I mean, 9 Souls, the first boss fight I started having troubles with was the one you fight in the Dream World, who looks like Toriel from Undertale.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind that because it was a fun, creative boss fight, even though it went into like 3 fucking phases. But the third phase, all these extra visuals came into it, and it was weird and fun and interesting from a thematic perspective.
Yeah.
It's the fact that the 10-phase gang squad was just a gang squad that's offended me all the more.
Can I make it slightly worse? I messaged you guys about this last night. So I've been making my way through Act 3. Act 3 was a ball lake even just to unlock, and even more of a ball lake to go through. For slight spoilers of that, there's effectively another 3 things you need to do to finish Act 3. And we were talking about our disagreements with the design of the 10-phase gang squad, and I've got the details here. There's a tower you go into, which is a 24-phase gauntlet in a row. With, I'm not done. Followed by an 8-phase gauntlet, and then a boss fight.
Wait, so a 32-phase gauntlet?
Yeah, but like the 24 one, then you get like, if you die in that 24 gauntlet, you go back to the beginning and you have to do all 24 phases again.
So there's a checkpoint, is what you're saying.
There's a shortcut you can unlock. If you don't find it, you have to do it all in a row. But there's a shortcut you can unlock, which will skip you to the 8-phase one at the end, and then up into the boss fight. And the boss fight's not easy either. Took me hours and hours and hours and hours, while also having all 4 of the nail upgrades and every item in the game. Like, I was as stacked as you could possibly be, cheesing as much as I could with my tools, and like it was stupidly difficult. It was madness. It was just like, and it made me furious because a friend of mine was watching while I was going through Act 3, because he did a similar thing to you, Yahtzee. He was like, no, I'm done. So he was like, I'll just watch you do it. And he was watching, and we did the first phase of the gauntlets, and it was like 10 phases. And then we got to another gauntlet room, and I was like, if I have to do this first gauntlet room again, I'm gonna cry. And he was like, well, they've never done that before. They wouldn't do that because that's never happened in the game since, right? If you've done a gauntlet, it's done and you just walk through the room. But these instances take place in like dreams, so the rules change and you have to do it all again. And it's unbelievable. It's actual madness.
So does this stuff feel like, because Hollow Knight 1 had its difficulty, especially if you wanted to strive for like the end game, post game stuff, like the Path of Pain and the Radiance ending and stuff like that was like genuinely tough. Do you see this stuff as kind of Silksong's version of that? Of like, hey, you can, if I'm able to get to the Act 2 and roll credits on it, anyone can get to the end of Act 2 and roll credits. Like, my skill level is like pretty just middle of the road in terms of this stuff. And so, like, do you see this Act 3 stuff as almost like, oh, this is the carrot at the end of the stick for the people who are really like insane about this game, versus like this is something that's supposed to be enjoyed by general people?
Well, you'd have to be pretty insane to get even to that point.
Yeah, unlocking Act 3 is a really big test of getting all of the fleas, completing all of the quest boards, and then doing a quest chain to defeat the last boss again. The thing is, I view the super hard things in Hollow Knight, like the Pantheon, as challenges, right? And there are endings involved with doing it, but it's like an ultimate challenge. The ending of Act 2 is the bad ending. Like, canonically, it's you have not done the thing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Act 3,
you end the game there, you're like, well, what the fuck's happening here?
Right.
Yeah.
So
and naming it Act 3, yeah, and getting Act 3 and calling it Act 3 implies that it is the latter third of the game. It's not a special challenge for you to get a unique ending. It's like the game. If you have finished Act 2 and you quit, you haven't finished the game. You've rolled credits, but you haven't really finished the game. There's an entire act. And it's crazy how much stuff is packed into that. I was constantly going, wow. Like,
yeah,
I think it's only about 10% of people have finished the game, and less than 5 have finished Act 3. And it's crazy how much content is packed into Act 3. I was gobsmacked by how much there is. I was really, really impressed. But I'm like, this is just too much. At least it's too much.
So I guess the question hanging over all of this and difficult games in general is that when does it become detrimental? Because if the developers want to make something that's a super hard challenge, who are we to say they did their jobs bad?
Yeah. It's something where I'm like, while I was playing Silksong, and I love difficult games.
Yeah.
But in Silksong, when I finished a boss fight, it was not the satisfaction of overcoming that challenge that I felt. It was relief that I didn't have to do it anymore. And it stopped feeling good. The only two fights that I felt were, one, memorable, and two, felt good to do was Cogwork Dancers, which everyone says that's the one because it's fantastic, and Trobio. Trobio, the dancer dude, he's fantastic. There's a second version of him in Act 3, which is really, really fun. Because if you go back to his arena, he's like awake. After you've killed him, he's awake, and then he pretends to be dead. Like it's really fun.
That's good.
But like they're the only two that I felt were satisfying to overcome, and I didn't feel like I was being cheated out of. Like sometimes when I died in the gank fight, I just was constantly like, "This is bullshit." I'm on phase 8, and there's 5 enemies in here, and I can't stand anywhere. They're all doing 2 damage. I just felt like I was being cheated. But like with the dancers or Trobio or some of the later lace fights, I was like, this feels like a dance, a battle. And those are really good, and they're just extremely rare in the game.
Yeah. I think for me, ultimately, from a critical perspective, the criticism for me is not really that it's too hard, but it's that it's too hard in a not interesting way, which is to say, not enough interesting creative bosses and too many gang squads.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. How much, I don't know if this is devil's advocate, but how much of that do you think is the fact that, like, by the virtue of our jobs, and especially the fact that you two had videos you needed to turn around, that you had to jump into the deep end and keep playing? Like, do you think that there is a certain part of our jobs or our workflow that exacerbates things like this?
Yeah.
Well, I do feel that way, yes, because I always have to like try to get through a game quickly. I was like skipping side quests, so I probably wouldn't have gotten to Act 3 anytime soon. And hearing that makes me even less inclined to get back to it. I don't know, but if it wasn't my job, if I didn't have to move to another game next week, I don't know, maybe there's a part of me that feels like they could get into really just playing this one game for the next year or so.
Sure.
I mean, I felt that way about Cave Story. I actually beat the super hard secret ending of Cave Story because it wasn't my job to finish it. And I was just enjoying bashing myself against it.
Yeah.
Two parts to that for me. I definitely felt that, and my friend I was playing with pointed that out to me as well while we were playing. He said, "Are you just frustrated you're not beating this boss because you want to finish the game because you're doing it for work?" And I was like, that is true, but also there's the side of it that they make the act of bashing your head against its challenges so difficult, with the sense of having to farm shards or having to go farm beads to like get a checkpoint halfway through a thing, or the run backs and like the bosses. A lot of the fights, some of them, I think Widow, the one above Bellheart, is a great example that feels really challenging until you do it a few times and you realize that they're very readable, and then you like lock yourself in and you do it. But that isn't the case for most of the bosses, especially the gank squads, where the enemy attacks aren't necessarily sequenced. They are just random, and sometimes you might just get a random account where 2 enemies decide to do their massive chain attack right above each other and below, and there's nowhere you can go, and it just feels bad. But with like Lace will always parry at the same time, and will always jump and dash, and that's where it felt good. And when you like introduce randomness and then leaving and farming, even if I wasn't in a rush, I think it would have frustrated me to no end. The same. I'm really interested to hear what the viewers' experience was as well.
Yeah, I mean, with Dark Souls, it's always been sort of optimized for one-on-one fighting. Which isn't to say you never fight multiple dudes at once. It's just the more dudes you fight at once, the more the complications sort of increase exponentially.
Yeah.
And that's definitely the case with the gang squads in Silksong, as you say. You can't keep track of 3 dudes at once, trying to keep track of what their tails are. And with one boss, you can watch their tails.
Yeah.
That's why Ornstein and Smo were such a pivotal boss fight in Dark Souls, because, oh my god, you're fighting 2 dudes instead of 1 dude.
Yeah, and they do different things, and you kind of have to think differently about them.
And you can only watch one of them at a time. It just, it's like the square cube law. Like, just adding the extra dimension adds like 10 times as many things to worry about.
Yeah. Outside of combat, I personally didn't have any complaints with runbacks. With the platforming of the game. The platforming is, and again, haven't quite got to the end stuff yet. Like I'm in Act 3, but not deep into Act 3. But seeing like a bunch of folks complain about what's the Sinner's Road? Was that the name?
Sinner's Road.
Sinner's Road, like the Bow-Water, the snowy platforming segment where you got to get the stuff.
Mount Faye.
I liked those areas, and part of it, like I liked that the Sinner's Road was so like diegetically oppressive. I like that you finally get to a bench and it's fucking booby trapped, because it's, of course it's booby trapped. Like this is an area that is littered with hunters who are waiting for pilgrims to come through and to murder them and to steal their shit. And so like I kind of like how cruel that area is, and if you do explore enough, you will find a bench closer to the boss and everything. But that stuff it felt like taking my time and exploring actually paid off. Whereas again, some of those boss fights, like again the 10 rounder, like because I wanted to use my tools, I was like, I'm being punished for failing, and that doesn't feel great.
Well, as I said, if I'd had the time to explore everywhere, I probably would have like found more health upgrades and shit and had a slightly easier time of it. I think another thing that I would actually criticize about Silksong is that not so much that the difficulty gets too high, but that it's not a consistent rise in difficulty. I think the first act, as I said, was relatively straightforward. It just like things massively ramp up for Act 2. I mean, you can pinpoint the moment. It's the fucking last judge. And you can pinpoint the moment in the last judge fight. It's the bit where he explodes, right, when you've gotten all his health down.
Yeah.
So in Castlevania Rondo of Blood, we used to call that the fuck you attack.
Yeah. I go into in my video how it's definitely intentional with the whole run back with the last judge, and also his attacks designed so that when you go into the underworks you have no beads, which is what makes the pay for use 15 bead benches and like the oppressive nature of that area work. If you had infinite beads, it wouldn't work as well. So they've done that intentionally. Doesn't mean I agree with it, right? Like I don't particularly like the runbacks. There's a reason why the people who are best known for punishing game design, which is FromSoft, stopped doing runbacks and introduced Stakes of Marika into Elden Ring. And like they realized that the fun is not in treading the same steps over or this is the reason why they've never done Blood Vials again. Going back and farming things is not fun, right? There's nothing of worth there. And it's the same here with shards. Why? I genuinely think they made a world so big, because it is massive. I said, I think on the last pod, the game's not as big as I thought. I was very ignorant. After Act 2, I found 5 areas. Madness. Like, it's insane. But I think they made a world so big that they genuinely, I think, later into development, they realized the world's too big. We can't just put beads everywhere, because then everyone will have unlimited beads and that currency will lose meaning. We need something else to put here. So they introduce shards. And that's why that exists. Because why doesn't it just refresh your tools on the bench.
That's
like,
what I
it
don't.
just
I don't
introduced
know
farming.
what would be removed from the game if it just you got a full stock of tools every time you sat on a bench.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think
what,
anything would be removed.
Yeah,
Farming
like, and I
would
don't-
be removed, right?
Yeah, the thing is, like,
I didn't
Oh, go
even
ahead.
know tools used up a resource. Like the first time I knew that was when I ran out of tools during the 10 phase gang squad fight.
and you're like, why aren't these refilling?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, yeah.
Having to go farm them adds nothing.
And it's one
it just
thing.
adds nothing.
Early in the game, that wasn't a big issue with me because when I'd get stuck in an area, I would just be like, well, I'm going to go somewhere else because
I'm
there's
gonna
a
go leave,
million
yeah.
areas in this game. I'm going to go explore something else. And so I was like never at a loss. But by the time I'd got to that 10 round fight that we were talking about, I had pretty much felt like I'd explored everything else. I would find out I hadn't, but in my mind, I was like, this is just the last hurdle. So I can go farm for more shards, but it's going to be me making the same run over and over, and that's not fun. Like exploring a new area to farm stuff is fun because you're exploring a new area and you're getting stuff while you do it because then you don't really realize it. But
then the same issues with beads, with everything costing beads to benches to teleport stations,
Yeah.
just because of everything. And then not all enemies dropping beads means
Sure.
that you have to go back to specific areas. And like, again, is a thing in my video of in Mount Fay, I got to what I thought was the halfway point and didn't have enough beads to unlock the bench. Tried everything, popped my rosary strings, found a hidden one, and I was like 2 beads off, and I had to leave this really difficult ice gauntlet like platforming challenge to go back and farm up 2 beads because no enemies in that area drop beads. The challenge with beads is holding on to them. You have to pay your taxes and you have to not die. That is the difficulty. I don't think the difficulty should be in their scarcity based on the types of enemies you're killing. I don't think there's anything lost in, oh, I've successfully got to this point and I have to spend beads for this bench, not you don't have any and now you have to fucking leave. Like, it was extremely infuriating.
yeah, I'm torn on because when I got to the Citadel and all of a sudden benches started costing money, I was like, this is actually a very smart, again, a diegetic design decision where like this is like an organized religion who is fleecing their zealots, who's like fleecing their customers out of like, well, yeah, in order to make it to the Citadel, this place you consider holy, we are going to nickel and dime you to fucking sit down on a bench. And I'm like, I kind of like that from like an idea standpoint of why did you make this decision in Metroidvania? But when you get to a decision, or when you get to a thing like you said with the snowy mountain, if you get to that point and you don't have any, you're like, I fucking hate this system. Like this system is trash. So I get exactly where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
Well,
If I could go back to my younger self, I would say just be incredibly fiscally conservative in this game. Just every time you find a thing is pay your taxes and get a rosary.
Pay taxes, yeah.
Yes. Well, we can litigate all our nitpicks from here to sundown, but I think we should get down to one question before we go to Super Chats, which is, after all this, do we think Hollow Knight Silksong is a good game we would recommend?
Yes. Yes, deeply.
Because we all do seem to be very animated on the subject.
I am, yeah.
For me, I am really told because like the 10 phase gang squad thing, that really felt like opinion souring moment for me. And the reason why it's all the harsher is because up until that point, I would have said it was a great game. I would have recommended. I got through the first act. This is why I'm complaining. Why my complaint is lack of consistency. I got through the first act. The difficulty level was just high enough for me. I was enjoying like the world building, like the interesting gameplay ideas, cogwork dances, fucking, centerpiece boss fight. I loved that. And all in all, I was thinking, this is a game for me. I am on board. But then the 10 phase gang squad changed that. It changed my feelings to, this is not a game for me anymore. And that's why it's all the more disappointing.
Can you think of similar moments in other games that, like a very obvious turning point?
Well, I was going to write a semi-ram on the subject, actually.
Okay, so if you want to keep it close to the vest.
Like, the ending of 12 minutes springs to mind.
Sure. I think, for very different reasons, I think a lot of people's opinions soured on that game right around that.
Oh no, I've got to the incest gauntlet in Silksong.
So So I can't help but feeling it's a detriment to Silksong, and that it should feel like is a detriment that I was on board and then I wasn't. I mean, if I was never on board, that's that's fine. It's going its own way. But the fact that I was on board, but then I wasn't, that's where that's what kills the game for me. That's the thing that marks it down into a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay?
It's an interesting one. I think one of the things for me is that what we need to realize is that we play games for our jobs, and we are quite literally paid to get through this, right? And I think about the insurmountable, like crazy hype for this game. People who'd never even played Hollow Knight were hyped for this game and probably picked it up, right? And I think this game is incredible. I think it's one of the best indie games ever made. I think it's fantastic. But I think its designs and the criticisms I have of them are going to make the game inaccessible for at least 80% of its player base. And I think that's a detriment to the game. I don't think the game should have this kind of inflated difficulty because of a host of all of these issues that combine to make that difficulty. I don't think that's worth it to make 80% of your players not be able to access the game or not want to because it's too hard. I just think Hollow Knight was a perfect example of a game that was very difficult and punishing, but did it in a way that felt fair. And this game, it doesn't. And we made it through, but I bet there are a lot of people who are probably listening right now who encountered that difficulty wall wherever you did encounter it and just put the game down. And that's sad because there's a lot of really good stuff here that a lot of people aren't going to see.
I'm curious. Obviously, Hollow Knight ended up becoming a very different game than when it originally launched. Like, I didn't play the original version. I played it when it came to Switch a year or two later. So I think by then it already had a shit ton of patches. So I don't know how many people out there. I don't know a lot of people who played vanilla Hollow Knight as soon as it released. So I'm curious if this game will, not just talking DLC, which I'm sure this game will have, but like these sort of balance patches, like will certain encounters be changed? Like are we complaining about things that are kind of frozen in ember in time?
We already did it with the 2 damage hazards.
Sure.
They've already patched it.
Yeah.
Game's infinitely easier.
But that's just one of the interesting things about, video games as an evolving thing is what you've played. Bloodborne had 45-second to minute long load screens after you died at launch, and I was like, this is like, that is the most egregious.
That's the
not
worst
only have I lost my not only have I lost my blood vials and my bullets, but also I'm waiting a minute for the game to load.
Yeah, lost all my mental momentum.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I see the chat's been chomping at the bit to tell us that the game's actually really easy, and we're a bunch of scrubs.
Bit chompers.
Yeah. Oh, they also hasten to remind us that you don't have to collect all the fleas to get to Act 3. Quite like that.
Oh,
most of the fleas. No, I think it's most, like 85 to 90%.
It's like 25 of them or something, right?
Yeah. Yes. Now's your chance to tell us that actually the final tower in the game is actually really easy. You did it on your first go. We must just have shriveled arthritic hands. Anyway.
I'm not going to listen to anyone unless they show proof they've finished Act 3. Otherwise,
show today's newspaper. today's newspaper plus your completion percentage.
Yeah.
Anyway, Raven gives $5 to give Raven's weekly word of the week 17, abeyance. I hope everyone at Second Wind and everyone watching this had a great weekend. Abeyance, that's a tough one. I think it means something like a state of limbo, like a state of not quite resolved. Let me check that.
Yeah, a state of temporary disuse or suspension.
There you go.
Ooh. Yeah, limbo is a good way of saying that.
Matters were held in abeyance pending further inquiries. I like that.
I wonder if that's a similar etymology to when we say things are being held at bay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I fucking love etymology.
Aren't words fun?
They are.
Moi non toi. Is that how you say that? Gives $5. It says, how do you feel about games labeling a difficulty option as medium versus normal? In my opinion, normal implies how the devs intended.
They're synonymous in my mind.
It's never really mattered much to me. I just pick whatever's the middle difficulty.
Yeah. To me, middle one just feels... Whatever you call the middle one, that just seems kind of like the intended difficulty, unless there's extra...
Yeah, I mean, that's what they mean by normal, isn't it? Like, that's the state between the two extremes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think difficulty options should exist.
Me, I've always preferred the thing where every difficulty option is some weird bespoke sentence, like they used to do in the old 90s shooter days. I can
Hurt
do
me plenty.
hurt me plenty, ultra violence, I'm too young to die, can I play daddy?
Yeah.
Do you
If I put it on the
these?
easiest mode, let me wear a chicken hat or some sort of a baby's nitty. I want to feel bad.
And a dummy, yeah.
Junior 3D was piece of cake, let's rock, come get some, and damn, I'm good. Blood was still kicking, pink on the inside, well done, burnt to a crisp, etc.
I started replaying Resident Evil Code Veronica over the weekend, and apparently the Japanese version of the game had a very, very easy mode that was not in the Western version, but via emulator you can get that very easy mode in the Western version of the game, in the GameCube version. And when you get to the first item box, it's just filled with every gun in the game and like 1,000 ammo of it. And I'm like, oh, you weren't kidding when you said very easy. Like, this is going to be incredibly easy.
That's usually the opposite of how it works, isn't it? Usually the Japanese version has all the really hard modes.
Yeah, although we know who the hardest one is, European Extreme. I still don't understand why Metal Gear Solid calls their hardest mode European Extreme, but I like it.
Oh, there's
American
some
beige.
clever in joke attached, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Magnus Burkhoff gives 50 Norwegian kroner. Says, any thoughts on Josh Drive Hayes' video on decline in views, explained as YouTube not reporting views made on desktops with adblock? Yes, we're all looking into this, like everyone on YouTube. We've reached a number of conclusions. Like, it seems to be something to do with ad blocks because our views on desktop are down while our views on mobile have gone up.
Yeah, I think that there's been a lot of videos, some of which we respectfully disagree with, but I think pointing out the ad block.
Let's name names. The fucking spiffing Brit, the fucking condescending twat, fucking. If you're gonna have a character as being a condescending dick, I understand that more than most. But there's no need to actually be a condescending dick about it.
Yeah, it's something that we discussed in our Slack. It's like, we have the data. Like, it is irrefutable that something is happening. We've had consistent views for years, right? Our shows have had extremely consistent views, and then all at the exact same time, all of our desktop views dropped. Like, we might not know the cause, but the fact there is something happening, and to say, oh, well, people just don't want to watch your stuff, it's like, get fucked.
Yes. Piss off, you condescending twat, as I was saying. There we go. That felt good. Murray the Demonic Skull gives 5 Canadian dollars and says, here's money. By the time you read this, I will be away from my desk and not watching live, so I look forward to seeing this read out later. That was it, Murray the Demonic Skull. Hope it was everything you dreamed.
Incredible. Also, right at this point, we got a Ko-Fi
nice.
from Mirith, which I have opened up and I'm going to read. Thank you so much, Mirith. I want to make one more comment on accessibility/difficulty. Something to consider is that accessibility could also mean something like having arthritis, where rapid movements can be physically hard, and should those people not be allowed to engage with content? Jay, I know you're a big
I'm a
accessibility proponent.
massive accessibility dude. On the topic of difficulty systems, I think Celeste is and always will be the perfect example of game design to include accessibility. That game is designed to be difficult, and at the very beginning they say, hey, this game is designed to be challenging. There are no difficulty options, it's just the challenge we intend, but here's accessibility options for take no fall damage or infinite jumps, so people who need it can actually access the game. And that's the thing I see with Silksong. You can download mods that give you infinite health and stuff like that. And that's fine. These things should be in the game. People should be able to access the game. If you want to not be challenged, but just want to see the story, you should be allowed to do that. And a lot of devs just don't put the effort in.
Trouble with me is, if a game opens with something like what Celeste has, saying, hey, here's the accessibility options, my first instinct is to say, none for me, thanks, you condescending twat.
And then that's on you. You know, if you're like, no, I actually do want the challenge, awesome. Go for it. You can bash your head against that wall, which I did in Celeste. But if you're like, I have arthritis, I have one hand, I am blind, or whatever,
Well, I just have a
that's why
feeling
they exist.
I just get this feeling of being talked down to. So, well, do you think you'll be all right with this?
Yeah,
Remember
but
the trouble you
respectfully, I
had?
don't give a fuck, because that means thousands of disabled people can actually access the game.
All right, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of like a personal thing you need to get over.
Anyway, Calibriel gives 1999, says, it's kind of a shame. I stopped playing Hollow Knight when I hit a difficult boss fight and got demoralized by all my failures, and hearing Silksong is even harder means I miss out playing the cool new game like my friends. Oh no, perhaps you should get over your fear of missing out.
That's a whole FOMO thing. And it'll be fine. We'll be talking about
download
a new
a
game in
mod.
like a week. We'll be talking about a new game. I can't do that on Switch.
I mean,
I'd have fucking downloaded a mod so quickly on Switch. You kidding
Oh my
me?
god.
When everyone's
Holy shit.
everyone's moved on to arguing over Borderlands 4 now.
There you go. How's it running for you? There's some people that are screaming
very
poorly
badly.
optimized. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, dang.
Like it's
But
it's
we all
crashed
saw
the
that coming.
It's crashed the desktop twice, and my computer fan keeps running all the time I'm playing it.
I hit a weird bug in the opening prologue when I hit the water, and it just kind of span out, and I closed the game, and I'm never going to touch it again.
Well, there's your review. Jimmy T0 gives $5, says, rare chance I can catch this live. Since it's going to be spoilery, I'll watch later, maybe in about a month when I've had the chance to play. Yeah, that's optimistic if you think you're getting through it in a month, Jimmy T0.
It has to be your job. It has to be your
I felt like this
job.
was relatively light in spoilers.
Yeah, it was pretty light, but
I
they're
feel like
not
we
going to
talked
hear
a lot
this.
of conceptual
Right.
stuff. But yeah, now we're fucked.
Hello, hey Jimmy. I hope you enjoyed the game. Legit, let us know in the comments what you thought of the difficulty. I'm interested.
Blistered Soul gives £199 and says, avoiding spoilers, Yacht's excited for fall baking. Oh yes, I love my bacon, although I don't really separate it by season.
That banoffee pie, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, I made a
there's,
lovely banoffee pie.
Pumpkin and spice cake. Like those are kind of fall.
I had my
guess.
first pumpkin spice drink the other day. Fucking, I just taste nutmeg.
Tastes pretty good. Though. Little PSL.
Yeah.
I've been working on stabilizing my whipped cream, because if you just whip cream, it's nice and dollopy, but it doesn't really it's not really solid. You can't get your teeth into it. And I previously tried stabilizing it with gelatin, but my wife didn't like the texture. Neither did I, frankly. This time I stabilized it with the vanilla pudding.
I heard pineapple's good for that as well.
We are, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Not asparagus though. Don't use asparagus.
Not asparagus.
My wife can't get enough of my stabilized cream now. I make sure I make sure to inject a hefty dose into her at every opportunity.
She loves those stiff peaks.
She sure does. I like her stiff peaks.
Next one. Next.
No, I'm enjoying talking about my stabilized whipped cream.
What is an unstabilized whipped cream? Like, oh, the whipped cream's out of control. I can't
It's like
contain
floppy,
it
dude.
anymore.
Yeah, it just doesn't hold its shape. Is what I'm
It's
talking
more of a
about.
liquid.
Yeah.
Like what?
You got that thin cream, you know. You want that.
That's
thick
just
cream.
cream. You just didn't whip it enough.
Zinc. Zinc's good for that.
Anyway, Yahtzee wore a green hat 9 months ago. Gives €2. Says, whatever happened to Gabriel from Let's Drown Out? Still in Australia, last I knew. Haven't talked to him in a while. I think he's grown a beard.
Incredible.
Is that why you haven't spoken to him? He can't get his words past the beard.
Yeah, I hate people with beards. That's why I
Dang.
cut most of mine off.
Oh, dang.
Damn, dude.
We don't need no badges because 199 says, I, on the other hand, prefer to play fun games. Ooh. Someone should go and watch my semi-ramblomatic on Do Games Have to Be Fun? No, it was an extra punctuation, wasn't it? Yeah, that one.
Shit.
What was the
conclusion?
No, was there an impetus for it? Like, was it when something came out that you?
Yeah, I was talking specifically about
Elden
name the bugger. No, it was that H.R. Geiger adventure game.
Oh, Scorn.
Scorn, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So because that game's not fun, but it does succeed in what it sets out to do.
Yeah.
It is engaging.
Yeah, big gross world. To walk
Games
around.
are art, and art by definition is meant to elicit emotion. Doesn't have to be
Yes,
fun. It just has to make
right.
you feel.
Yes, that's why I supplant the word fun for the word engagement. As long as if it makes me feel sad or like angry, that's still engagement.
That is true.
Cars Greta gives €11. Says, I have nothing major to add to the discussion, but I just wanted to thank you all for making my bike rides to work more exciting. Keep your eyes on the road, Cars Greta.
What's that behind you, Cars Greater? Watch out!
Oh, no. Wee, wee, wee. Do you think that was a realistic sounding ambulance?
That was I went to look out the window. I thought
The tough thing is costs donated in euros, so it's any number of countries that might have different sounding ambulances.
Yeah.
All right, there. That's
watch out!
No,
yeah.
no, that's not that is not the sound British ambulances make.
No, the sound it goes is we're free, we're free.
Oh no! Oh no!
I say that I'm here now. It's not free.
Yeah. Zomaj Wow gives 200 Swedish kroner and says, might have been mentioned already, but Silksong's difficulty may be explained by the fact it was originally meant to be a DLC to Hollow Knight. It would make sense for that to be a harder challenge for those who want more of the base game. That is very much a point I'm going to make in my upcoming Fully Ramblomatic, in that Silksong does feel like it has the DLC attitude of trying to top the challenge of the previous game. Because when you're downloading the DLC, there's the understanding that you're on board. It's like, oh, that wasn't enough for you, was it? Well, now the gloves can come off.
Yeah, the timing of last week's Nintendo Direct was serendipitous because one of the things they announced is they're just letting you buy Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on Switch in a few days for $40 a piece, let me tell you.
Huh,
so
a
nice $80 for those two games.
There's a pack that comes with...
Yeah, you can buy 3D All-Stars has Mario Galaxy 1 in it.
You can no longer buy that. They took that, they removed that from stores and digital storefronts shortly after release. But anyways, Mario Galaxy 2 very much reminds me of a game that starts where it feels like the difficulty from the end of Mario Galaxy 1. So that very much feels like the second half of a singular thing. And so its difficulty builds upon what came before it.
Yes, that definitely feels like a DLC sequel. I think Doom 2 was the first case of what I would have called a DLC sequel.
Yeah.
What I call it now. I wouldn't have called it then.
Sure.
I think back then I would have called it an expansion pack sequel. Remember those?
I do remember those. The good old days.
Yeah. I think with the difficulty of Silksong as well, I think part of it's the DLC nature. The other is they're a very small team and they've been working on this for a long time, and there's so much content that I genuinely believe they didn't test this game fully. Like, it's crazy that a 2 damage hazard bug can come out on release. Like, you didn't have a set release date, you shadow dropped it effectively, and like that's a huge bug that makes the game infinitely harder. It's like, how did you not catch this before release?
Especially since they were working on it for 6 bloody years.
It was close to 8, nearly.
Yeah, crazy. Alex Armstrong gives $2 and says, don't have game yet. Here's $2 for Marty's thumbs up.
Oh my God. I gave him a thumbs up and I didn't even see the end of the moment. Oh my God, that was incredible, Alex.
Alex Armstrong gives $5 then and says, not a YouTube playable, but found a mobile game with the same appeal, Infinity Loop. You make all the lines connect to each other with theoretically infinite levels.
Oh,
that sounds engaging somehow.
I kind of like that. I kind of like it.
Zaraba gives $2 and says, hell yeah, 12 minutes mentioned. Would we still be talking about that game if it had just been blandly good?
No. If that game didn't have incest, people would be talking about it.
We'd occasionally bring it up when it's like, oh, what are examples of time loop games? And it'd be like, Majora's Mask, Outer Wilds, 12 minutes. But now it's just a sister kissing game.
Yeah. Shinzu Akachi gives £10 and says, what makes the difficulty wall different from some moments in Dark Souls? Capra Demon boss room plus dogs, the Anor Londo Great Bows. I feel like every old classic game has a few overtuned difficult moments. The thing about Capra Demon with dogs is that in that boss fight, if you get it wrong, you just die straight away. That's like the classic die in the first second boss fight. But so it doesn't really waste your time like that. As long as you can figure out the first second of the boss fight to get it, like dodge roll away from the dogs and get up the stairs, then it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, that's like a very specific kind of punishment. It's like if the 10-round gauntlet of the 10th part being the tough part, but having to get through the first 9 parts in order to learn the 10th part. Or it's the same thing if a boss has phases and you're like, the 3rd phase is the one that's a pain in the ass, but I have to go through the rigmarole of doing the first 2 phases.
Yes, that's the annoying part. It's like spiritually the same as the run, isn't it? The gauntlet run leading up to the boss.
Yeah.
You just have to get out of the way before you can start learning stuff.
There you go.
It's like a knowledge thing, right? You mentioned the stairs with the Capra Demon. You understand what to do once it's done, but the random nature of the attacks, the run backs, the getting through 9 phases, right? You're not able to get to that point. You mentioned this earlier, Yahtzee. You're not able to get to the point of phase 8 to learn what those enemies do because you have to go through 7 phases to get there. So you're being punished. For
this.
Now I've played Dark Souls so much. Now, like the Capra Demon rarely takes me more than one go because I know what to do.
I mean, just even like when we did our challenge to ring the first bell. Like that, the first time I took Dark Souls, that took me several days. And then we did our challenge, and it was like 25 minutes or whatever. I was like, I've gotten better at this thing.
Anyway, Alex Armstrong gives $5 and says, "Bit miffed they're going straight to Galaxy for second Mario movie rather than land where they'll meet Daisy. Feels like writing into corner, but faster." Well, they wanted to introduce Rosalina.
Yeah, that's why.
Space Princess.
I mean, do you just want like one princess per movie for like ever?
Yeah,
and
it's also like Mario stories don't need to evolve the way the Mario games did, right? They're kind of Mario.
Am I the only one who was confused on Mario Galaxy 1 because I thought Rosalina was Peach, but with a different haircut?
Was Prince the artist formerly known as Peach?
Yeah, she almost said princess.
It is weird because you're like, they're related, right? But they just look the same.
Are they? They just look the same, but with slightly different hair. Like
no, like I thought they were related when I played it. I don't know. Maybe in like
Rosalina's massive.
Well,
she's so tall.
I mean, you can see the differences like when they're side by side. But the first time I saw Rosalina, I was like, "That's just Peach in a dress."
She is peach coated. Yeah,
she is peach coated. Rosalina's like what's her name? Chakra, the map lady.
I mean, at least Daisy has different hair color and a different personality. Daisy's the fun one. Daisy's the one like you would shag in the shag, marry, kill situation.
Yeah. You also have to think with the movie that one of the most memorable characters from the Mario movie was the little, what are they called, Lumas?
The Luma?
Yeah.
The Luma who's just like constantly talking about death and like depression. Yeah. Super memorable, very, very funny. And that is Galaxy. So we're going to get loads of those.
Here's the theory. So Mario Movie 2 is Mario Galaxy. They're re-releasing Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. They're releasing a storybook, like a physical storybook of Rosalina's storybook from the Mario Galaxy games. Mario Galaxy 3 is going to be the next Mario game.
It's going to be the next 3D Mario. It's going to be a Mario Galaxy.
It seems like you're reintroducing it to our
Mario
memory
universe
in order to prepare us.
So that would imply that would imply that Miyamoto still gives a shit about tentpole Mario games.
He doesn't do that stuff. That's not his job anymore.
That would imply that he has anything to do with the development of those games anymore.
I know.
That would imply that he didn't die back in 1992 and it's been a frozen head in a jar making decisions.
He's been puppeting him. Weekend at Minimo's.
Anyway, Casey Jones gives $5 and says, "I'm tired of devs making games like the aging gamer collective has the same free time as they did 8 years ago. I can't get good in this economy."
Yeah, fair.
That is true. It is hard to like, if you do have just a finite amount of time. Yeah, it's hard to get good.
Have you considered getting a job reviewing video games for a living?
Next time someone tells me to get good, I'm going to tell them to get job.
Yeah. Get job.
Get employment.
Yeah. Get life.
Oh,
I don't have a life either, so I can't do that one.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, dang.
Tsunami Duja gives $20. Says nothing. Yeah, I'm just glossing over it casually today.
Oh, I don't like that. I didn't like it. I don't like it.
Tsunami Duja, you're like a cryptid. I love it when you show up in chance.
You're like a cryptid?
You're like my Mothman.
Cryptids don't appear every bloody week. Cryptids appear like once, and then one person takes footage of it, and that's the only footage of it for the rest of time, like Bigfoot.
They,
I don't know. I see a
Tsunami
Mothman once
Douche
a
was
week.
actually only ever donated once. That's just me taking a screenshot of it and posting it every,
Oh my
every
goodness.
week.
A superb owner gives $2. It says, haven't played Hollow Knight or Hollow Knight Silksong, just here to say, oh, banana.
Oh, banana.
Banana.
Weren't you saying that the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC sucks ass,
It
Marty?
is. Do not buy the DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza. It is $20. It tricked me into thinking I'd be able to hang out in the Donkey Kong Country Island. It's a very small place. It's not even a full level. And then there's this fucking just side game of collecting gems. This kind of like, I don't want this. $20. That's what Silksong cost. Like, I don't think this shouldn't retroactively hurt my thoughts on Bonanza, which I loved. But I'm going to tell you, its existence is hurting my thoughts on Bonanza a little bit.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Guess
Ooh, banana.
there is such thing as
banana.
bad publicity.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Miyamoto's Frozen Head,
Nintendo
you've done it
love
again.
doing this thing where they're like, our games are made for kids. Our games are made for kids. No, they're not. Like right at the end.
Sovereign gives €20 and says, Jermaine's right. Difficulty options should be a standard feature, like subtitles or control remapping, artistic vision or not. Imagine an author refusing to release braille/dyslexic font copies of their book due to their vision.
I mean, they do.
Well,
A lot of it's just like they don't have the resources to do it. But then again, if you go in on the outset with doing it, like my game has colorblind and accessibility features already because I've put the effort into making sure those things are in.
what about the question of translating a work from one language to another if the work is full of puns and jokes and stuff that don't work in a different language? See, what you're supposed to do is localize it and replace all the puns with puns that do work. That's what they always did with the Asterix books, which is like one of the best localizations in the world.
You have to have someone equally as talented, right, within the pun space to do it.
I've always thought, if I didn't have the game reviewing gig, what a fun job to have would be the person who has to localize gags. Like someone who, you get handed the raw English translation of a Japanese game that just tells you exactly what the words mean, and your job is to just change the gags so that they work in English. I think that would be a really fun job for a writer.
Yeah.
You have to call in the gag localizer?
Yeah.
Oh, let's get Timmy in.
Oh, it's Yahtzee, our gag lord.
Yeah, I want to be a gag consultant.
You're the gaggler.
That's going to be my job.
The gaggler.
Yeah. Ryan Betts gives $5 and says, YouTube is undefeated in finding a way to poop the bed and expecting actual creators scrub the sheet stains. So support the actual creators' Patreons. Yes.
Yay.
Remember to support us on Patreon. It supports us a hell of a lot better than likes and subscribes on YouTube do. But having said that, if you can't follow us on Patreon, a like and subscribe wouldn't go amiss either. And it's
Thanks, everyone.
zero effort on your part, you assholes.
Well, there's motor functions you have to do to pull the mouse down. I get it. It's a lot of effort, but you like us.
God damn it.
Mr.
Ryan
Bless. Yep. Ryan Betts gives $5 and says, Ryan Betts sent 1 Second Wind gift memberships.
And
YouTube,
Ian, thank you so much,
If it's
man.
only one, take off the S from the end of the word. That's easy in programming.
Incompetent.
I know.
Lazy YouTube.
Lazy YouTube. Alex Armstrong gives $5 and says, so sick of Sonic Cross Worlds news. I feel Mario Kart World will be labelled as a footnote in Nintendo's history. Did Sega finally do something right? I have been hearing a lot about Cross Worlds, and I agree, Mario Kart World is kind of forgettable in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm surprised by how quickly Mario Kart World has kind of fallen out of our consciousness.
Yeah,
After
a couple days
launch
after
title
it came
energy.
out, I was like,
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised because of the game. I understand why people aren't remembering because of the games. I'm just surprised because Mario Kart 8 had literal decade-long
one
tail.
of the best-selling games of all time.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, I mean, I think if the Sonic racing game that comes out in a few weeks is good, which I know it had like a multiplayer beta and it's going to have a single-player demo soon. If it is good,
excited.
that's good. Having
Like
competition in these niche
A
spaces
rare
is a good
J
thing.
moment. It's like the only Sonic games I like is that racing game.
Oh
Yeah,
my
the racing ones,
goodness.
there you go.
A Sonic game that's good.
because they might as well
Crazy.
not be Sonic. They're just racing
Incredible.
games.
Yes.
With
we love
mascots.
Sonic Frontiers here, though. So obviously that's the three of us are big Sonic Frontiers. Fans.
Yes, you really love Sonic Frontiers.
Big three. Fans.
The Guru M gives 20 Norwegian krona, says, what the fuck's happening at The Escapist? Shit's fucked. I know, right? Fucking galling. Imagine how galling it is for us, people who put like 10 years of work into the channel.
All our,
and
our
now
content's still there.
And now you go onto the channel page and like, if you look on like recommended videos, it's all my shit. And you look on latest videos, it's like fucking 10 videos of people winning on slot machine games.
Yeah.
Counterpoint is someone
1,
who likes
2,
gambling.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
As
8,
someone who
9,
likes
10,
gambling,
11.
no, that is not my kind of stuff.
11 gambling videos with like 1 to 5k views. They've changed their logo to some weird thing. It's depressing. It's extremely depressing. But guess what? We're here now.
Yeah. Just fucking sell the site to H-Bomber guy already.
Easy peasy.
Fungus Finder gives $5 and says, I no longer seem to enjoy challenges in games. What the hell is wrong with me? Is life slowly being drained of meaning until we are empty voids? Perhaps you just need to find meaning in something else, Fungus Finder.
Well,
Perhaps
fine,
you
you're
could
a
get
recent
really
father.
in-
Maybe it's because you have a child. And
Yeah.
it's put things into real perspective.
Get really into hentai visual novels.
Oh my god,
There
I've got
you
some
go.
recos, Fungus Finder. I'll DM you.
They've got failure states though. The thing is,
But on the
with
other hand,
Silksong-
titties.
Not if you whip the cream hard enough.
oh my god,
Whoa.
stiff peaks. My experience with Silksong was really odd. Like the free challenges at the end, even when I did it with the cogs doing 2 damage, the gauntlet of platforming at the very top, I never became frustrated with it. I failed a few times and then did it, but I was like, any failure is on me for misinputs or anything like that. But in those gauntlets, I was just like, this game's bullshit. I hate this. Like, I'm starting to think I just don't like combat in those games. Like, I just don't want to fight.
You know what
Let
I've
me
realized
platform.
about myself? There's part of me that enjoys JRPGs, not usually because of like story or anything like that, but because I know if you get like a random fight in a JRPG, you're still gleaning a benefit from it. And if you just like grind up, do 1,000 random fights, you get experience and all your points go up and you get stronger and all the mandatory fights get a lot easier. And I find I like that. It's
Farming
you
in
don't feel
games
like
is a fascinating topic, I think.
you don't feel like you're wasting time just banging your head against a boss fight 1,000 times and never beating it.
Whereas going back to get farm shards to make the fight slightly easier feels terrible.
Yeah,
So
It's funny, that.
it's weird, right? Farming.
I can see sort of makes me sort of see the appeal of idle games for some people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Alex Armstrong gives $2 and says, speaking of Nintendo, thoughts on new Virtual Boy? Now, I haven't caught up with everything that was announced on the Nintendo Direct. Fill me in on this.
They are putting Virtual Boy games on the Nintendo Switch Online, and you will be able to buy either a $20 cardboard Labo thing to put your Switch screen to your face, or a $100 literal piece of plastic that is the Virtual Boy that you can slot your Switch into. And then you can play all your favorite Virtual Boy games that will give you intense migraines, severe neck pain for a lot of games that are pretty bad, and a few games that are actually pretty good.
Is it still mounted to a table? So you have to.
It is still
lean
going to be a
into
thing
it?
that is on like a it'll almost be like
Man,
a mic
nostalgia.
stand. Yeah.
Nostalgia can carry a lot of things, but something tells me nostalgia's not going to carry this very well.
Nintendo, how could you release this $20 DLC? Also, Nintendo, when can I give you my $100 for the Game Boy, for the Virtual Boy?
To release a failed, I think it's a bit strong to call it failed. Like it more than failed, like horrific failure of a console.
Yeah.
To that failed in every aspect. To then re-release that for $100 and require a subscription to play the games.
Sure.
Is
Now
fucking mad.
Now
Love
the
it.
audience is nostalgic for the failure.
I love
Remember
it.
how everyone was talking about how shit it was? Now you can
Very
relive those
excited.
days.
Very excited. There's a good Jack. There's a Pyro Jack in a Jack Frost game. So you
Jack
can play-
Packard on
yes.
Virtual Boy?
There's a Jack Packard game on the Virtual Boy.
Hmm.
Wow.
Anyway, Geldon Yetich gives $5 and says, Genova Chen's flow theory points out that too much difficulty makes you anxious, too little makes you bored. Then they made Journey. What the fuck, Genova?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was Genova's flow theory was like when he was at university and then making a game. I think like that flow theory is good for some games. I don't think every game needs to walk that perfect line between challenging and fun.
Depends what your goal is.
Sure.
There you go. Magnus Burkhoff gives 100 Norwegian kroner and says, Yahtzee, how well versed are you with bread baking? Got any favourite recipes? If you haven't tried, you have to try and make honey bread and French garlic bread. Also, does the rest of the team bake? I'm concentrating on making the perfect loaf of bread I want to eat during the week. I've been experimenting with flour mixes for a long time now. At the moment, I'm on 50% bread flour, 50% golden wheat flour, which isn't the same as whole wheat flour. It claims to have all the goodness of whole wheat without ruining your texture. And it seems to be maintaining the texture, at least. But as for the goodness, who can say?
Yeah. I think you're the big baker of the team.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten crazy with bread. I like making desserts. Like on Sundays I make bread. On Saturdays I make like a dessert. Like I made banoffee pie. I've made like Bakewell tarts. I've made a banana bread the other weekend just because there's a lot of uneaten bananas in the house.
Yeah, the
Still
sweet
getting
treats
through
is
that,
what I
but-
look forward to.
Still getting through that banana bread. It's a bit stodgy.
Lesson learned. You're always improving.
Well, I like it stodgy, you know? Like a fruitcake.
Stodgy like
Stiff peaks.
Stiff
Anyway.
peaks.
The Brain Surgeon gives €6. Says, replaying Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag for the sea shanties and met Mary Reed. Jermate, didn't you once say you are one of her descendants? What's the story there?
My
that-
grandfather insisted upon that we were descendants of Mary Reed, the pirate who pretended to be a male, well, along with I think Anne Bonny was.
Yeah,
Was
Anne
the
Bonny
famed-
and Mary Reed are the two famous female pirates.
And Mulan.
Yeah. And yeah, my grandfather insists that we are descended from them. We're from the similar places in England. We have the same last name, and he could have just been talking out his arse because he did that a lot. So
Well, you got the same last name except it's spelled different.
Mary Reed is spelled R-E-A-D. Mine's spelled R-E-A-D.
I thought you were R-E-E-D.
No,
Huh.
it's like read
Well,
a book. It's like read a book, which is why it's so ironic that I'm dyslexic.
Yes, that is quite funny. Hilarious.
James can't read.
Oh,
I used to
that's a sick burn. That's cruel, but that's a sick
It's
burn.
the best bully. I was bullied once in the high school, and it was someone doing that joke, and I pissed myself laughing so much. I was never bullied again. It was great.
Oh my god. Huge.
Anyway. Inverse Skies gives $7.99, $8. It says, games would benefit from accessibility options for difficulty. I wanted to enjoy the world of Elden Ring, but never could master the combat. Mods.
And what do
Yeah,
other fucking
mods.
gamers lose if you are allowed to do that? Like, what does anyone lose? It's this weird, like, ego attachment to especially Dark Souls. Like, the argument of it shouldn't have an easy mode or there shouldn't be accessibility is so weird and entitled. I just don't get it.
You know what I think? Movies and anime shouldn't have subtitles. You should have to learn Japanese. Get good. Get good,
Yes.
scrub. Learn a foreign
Otherwise-
language.
Otherwise, you're appropriating culture.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
I love. It always like distracts me watching like dubbed anime because you can tell like they're trying to say a sentence that lasts as much time as saying the Japanese sentence did.
Yeah.
So
Modern
they always have to like
anime
add
dubs are
add
pretty
extra
good.
bits.
Sure.
They say, "What are you doing here? Dance me now."
I prefer to watch, and this is going to sound weird, but wait for me to explain why. I prefer to watch dubs, and I used to get a lot of shit for this because when I would watch anime with friends in England, because I'm dyslexic, so it takes me longer than the average person to read a sentence. Which means I'm not really paying attention to what's happening visually. And I sometimes miss half the context because it just disappears. So I
Sure.
request that we watch dub so I can just like, I know it sounds dumb, but like keep up and like pay attention to the actual visuals more and the story more.
There are
But
there are
people
good
get so
dubs.
entitled about it.
There are good dubs. Cowboy Bebop has a good dub. Steve Blum's in it.
Oh, he's great early
All
dub. I just
Ghibli.
saw the
Ghibli has great dubs.
Oh yeah,
Yes. Cromarty High School's got a good English dub.
I just saw the Demon Slayer movie in theaters this weekend. That is a great dub.
There you go.
Boom.
Ryan Betts gives $2. Says Nintendo actually turned Ditto into a wobbly woman.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. Ditto is now a wobbly woman. Ditto the
Okay.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
they got a
There's
Pokemon farming game.
What feels like a child has died in a cave, and Ditto is like taking the form of that dead child's body to pretend to be a child in a farming
That's
game.
weird. That's
Yeah.
creepy.
But Ditto kind of does look like a wobbly woman, which is pretty cool.
That game is going to sell billions of dollars, and I can't wait.
I'm also excited. We're 2 weeks away from wobbly women in like peak wobbly women in Silent Hill F. Like that
my
is.
God.
There's gonna be the holy Moses. They're
We
bent,
should
they're
stream it, and
crooked,
we should tally the wobbly women, like
A
how
wobble
many
count?
wobbly women,
and the count
wobble
kind of like
count.
wobbles. Eric, see if you can put together a wobble
Silent
count.
Hill F wobble count.
Yeah. Alex Armstrong gives $2 and says, "You said long ago you'd like a job making grunt sound effects. I can like two jobs. I can like the idea of having two jobs.
Listen, this is America. You got to have two jobs.
I bet I'd be
He
a
has like
great
5.
grunt performer.
Yeah,
I go, there you go, classic.
that was really good. Got the biggest boner right now.
Where is it?
Stiff peaks.
Don't have time to play with myself.
Eric, what is that? What did you just so? What are we doing?
Wait, I blinked. What did I miss?
I
Moving
think it
on.
was just a man having a jasm.
Moving hastily on. Harry's son 94 gives $10 and says, "Getting to hear that beautiful choral chambers music in Act 2 of Silksong made any BS in Act 1 totally worth it. IMO. Exploring that area was one of those true ethereal moments of gaming beauty for me. Until you got minced up in the whirring saw blades, of course."
It is beautiful. There's lots of really good music in 2. I still prefer the soundtrack to 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Zaratha gives $2 and says, "Virtual Boy's going the same route as Bubsy, though." Yeah, and Bubsy as well. What is this nostalgic wave for things that really sucked?
I don't get it.
Because they sucked in a fun way, right? As opposed to like with
guess.
the world now, which sucks in like a deeply bad
But then
way.
you can be nostalgic for the feeling of understanding that it sucked, but then you actually play the game and go, "Oh, we were right. This did suck."
Oh yeah, this does suck.
I mean,
Well,
I
I'll play something
think
else.
the idea with Bubsy, which Bubsy has always sucked in my mind, is that this Bubsy 4 is being given to like actual 3D platforming, an actual 3D platforming indie team that has pretty decent track
And
record.
just let
so
them
far.
make
Oh,
a good
well.
game.
They are making good. They have like Demon Tides is coming out, which is like their own kind of big take on like Bowser's Fury almost. But I think this is we'll also make some money on the side by bringing back Busby the cat.
Let people cook.
Let people cook
I'm-
the cat.
I'm working on a review of The Rogue Prince of Persia, and in that I conclude I've basically come to terms with people slapping recognizable IP on stuff, as long as the stuff they're slapping it on is something new and interesting. I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like a small price to pay for some decent AA games.
Yeah,
It's like the
It's-
Exorcist 3.
Yeah.
this it's kind of like how we got Andor. Like if you got to make if you got to put in the Star Wars universe, that's fine, but you gave us like an incredible anti-war series.
Drama, yeah.
Yeah. Mirith gives $5 and says, "On dubs, Miyazaki famously basically said, 'Get good, learn Japanese.'"
Classic.
Well, didn't he also
Which
say
Miyazaki?
anime is trash?
He also
I don't
smoked
think you
cigarettes
wanna-
and said that AI was like an affront to God.
Yeah. I don't think
He-
you want
he
to
has
be
some
going
weird
to
opinions.
Miyazaki for your quotable opinions. Anyway, Lord of the Rings fan 193 gives $4.99 and says, "Nothing. It's
And
not the
my
same when
axe.
you do it."
And my bow.
There you go. And then Herb4NM gives 10 PLN and says, "Yeah, it's world-renowned gagger and grunter. I'm also good at making gross sound effects I use in my horror games."
This episode started
Well,
off with your
Gaga.
weird noises and it's ending with your weird noises, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Just put that onto like a hideous Lovecraftian body horror monster. Anyway, Louis Chambers gives one last super chat for $5. Says, hello, sorry if this gets asked every 5 minutes. Any updates on Data Files Book 3? Just finished Existentially Challenged and salivating for more content. Thanks all. I'm working on a draft. Should hopefully we'll have some news soon. Hey, Toffee. Hi, Toffee, you stinky boy. Hey, it's you, cutie. Yes, you are.
All right, it's dog hours.
Dogs,
Let me get
dogs.
He's just giving me the eye. Oh, sleepy boy.
Oh, look at his big baby.
He's had to stay in the office or in his pen until the skunk smell
Baby.
fully fades away. I think he's a bit understimmed.
Look at that
Anyway.
dog.
That's enough of this podcast. I'm bored. Let's do something else. So thanks for listening to the Windbreakers podcast. I was Yahtzee. This is my dog. Here's those two guys who also have dogs.
I do.
Woof.
My dog plays guitar.
Yeah, wow.
His name's KK Slider. That's too many K's in his name. I don't like that. KK Slider needs a new name.
Do you think Kevin Kline has too many K's in his name?
No, but he doesn't go by KK.
Fair enough. Well, content all week on Second Wind, as always. Make sure to watch it and like it and subscribe and post comments, because apparently that's the only way YouTube counts it now.
Dundum.
I was Yahtzee Croshaw, and Yahtzee Croshaw also has other stuff coming out this week, including Fully Ramblomatic, which will be on the subject of Silksong, funnily enough. Yes, that thing we've been banging on about for the last 2 hours. More of that. And I've also got a semi-ramblomatic this week, which will be on the subject of Metal Gear canon, generally.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. Which should be fun. Yeah, that's my stuff.
Actually, the
And,
Shagohod was the name of the canon. The Metal Gear was a...
And also my Yahtzee Tries stream on Wednesday, which will be me playing a game I haven't decided yet.
Did you like Dunkadillo?
It did the job.
Yeah.
If you're interested, why don't you go watch my Yahtzee Tries compilation video that went out on Sunday?
I'm gonna watch it with an ad block. You're not gonna get my desktop
No.
view.
I'm gonna double ad block it.
I don't know how to use an ad block. I've never used an ad block. I just get angry and watch ads.
Oh,
and
these ads.
Oh, these
Just
fucking
get
ads.
YouTube
Oh, no, I have
Premium,
YouTube Premium.
unironically, fuck this company, but also YouTube Premium, very worth
Is
it.
that
get
has
so
paid
much
for its
stuff.
weight in gold for me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found a bit of old skin in the couch. I think this is one of the things that flaked off my foot when I had hand, foot, and mouth disease.
That is a
Don't
nightmare.
eat it.
Don't go to full screen for that.
Sophie,
What
don't
is
eat that.
happening?
He was about to. I stopped him.
For a split second, Yutz, I thought you were gonna eat it.
No, that'd be gross. Anyway, plug all the other stuff we've got.
Jay, what do you have going on? You had a new video go up this morning.
I had a video drop a few hours ago on Silksong and its beautiful
Yay.
but baffling designs. I have a lot of criticisms of Silksong, all in the name of I want the game to be the best it can be.
Yeah.
But I still think it's great. But
It's a
yeah,
fun game
check
to
that
talk
out.
about.
Yeah, 100%. I slaved my ass off to get that video out, so I hope you guys enjoy. Also got a dev heads later this week, topic pending, but that will be coming out on Friday. And also, do we have our Patreon movie night this week?
Yes, it is tomorrow during the time of this very podcast. So tomorrow at noon Central. If you're a member of our Phoenix tier, come hang out with us as we watch a movie as chosen by Jesse Galino. We don't know what the movie
Would
is.
love to
Well,
see you
Eric
guys
knows
there.
what the movie is, but we don't.
Well, one last super chat came in while we were talking. Magnus Burkhoff gave 50 Norwegian kroners and said, if you are looking for a daily bread, you should try no knead whole grain bread, pumpkin seeds, linseed, etc., with whole wheat and or spelled flour. No need, Magnus Burkhoff. Where's the fun in that? Half the fun of making bread on Sunday is having a big lump of dough I can take my frustrations out on.
And Magus, I know we don't need it, but it's just bread's like something he wants. Like,
Right.
yeah. And then later today we'll have Hidden Gems at the normal time. Aside from the Phoenix Tier movie hang tomorrow, I believe Jack and Jenna are going to be back at tomorrow, playing some of that co-op Lego game that just came out, Lego Voyagers. It's apparently like a Lego take on the Haze Light stuff, which is interesting. So,
Okay.
the normal streams throughout the rest of the week. I should have a video that Casey's editing on my own Silksong video about the NPCs and why I think they're the game's MVPs, and I love them all dearly. But yeah, that's it.
All right, there we go. All right, see you next time then, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Say bye, Ludo. Bye.
Say bye, dogs.
Bye, doggies.